Tonight on Denver7 News at 6.
I'm expecting it to be a fun day.
Millions of Coloradans are signing up for shots.
I'm feeling really relieved.
But others are either holding back or being held back.
It's not the individual's fault.
Don't call it a tax or we'll debate it for years. That's what Colorado lawmakers were thinking when they proposed charging a fee to pay for transportation improvements.
Call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, they know that they're funding it, and for them, it's a tax.
Plus, murder charges are filed in the death of a young Denver woman.
The CDC loosens distancing guidelines among children.
And Shelby Harris lets Broncos country know he'll be here as long as the team will have him.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good evening and thanks for watching Denver7. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. 2.5 million additional Coloradans became eligible for the vaccine today, and everybody else should qualify in a few weeks.
We're going to talk about all the people getting their shots in just a second. Our first story, however, concerns the people who are not. Denver7 Sloan Dickey reports.
On Saturday, this church.
Just happy that we can use this, facility to help the community.
Will become a vaccination clinic.
We arranged the whole place this evening to organize the work. You have your seats here, and we're going to have the vaccine stations here.
The Solid Rock Baptist Church in Aurora is a crucial venue for reaching the city's Ghanaian population, one of many that have been underrepresented in early vaccination numbers.
I think it's a good thing when we can provide access to our community, when we can provide a service, and when these services are generated from our community.
Dr. Kwaku Hazel, a surgeon at UC Health, is organizing the vaccination clinic on Saturday that will bring 500 vaccine doses to people from the surrounding community.
Minority populations, especially Black, immigrants, and Latinx communities have had historical issues with the medical system.
Many communities in Aurora show underrepresentation when it comes to receiving the vaccine. Health experts on the ground say numerous factors are the cause.
Access, individuals not knowing where to go to get the vaccine, if they're interested in getting vaccinated. And then secondly, there's a lot of hesitancy.
In an area with few resources to health systems, this team hopes to be a bridge.
These clinics are important to encourage higher vaccination rates among the BIPOC community.
Another clinic in Aurora on Friday followed the same goal.
I think there's going to be about 300 people come through here today to get vaccinated.
Denver Indian Health and Family Services set up a clinic for Colorado's indigenous community, spreading vaccine awareness and advocacy.
This is a safe place to be. You know, it's really important for certain groups that things are provided in a culturally responsive and culturally sensitive way.
Events like these are important, experts say, to bring healthcare to underserved communities.
There's reasons why we are in this position.
But even after the pandemic ends,
those reasons aren't going to magically disappear.
There's still much work to be done. Sloan Dickey, Denver7.
Restaurant employees are among the Coloradans who can now sign up for shots, and we imagine a lot of them already have taken advantage. Snooze is hosting clinics on March 23rd and 24th. They'll also be using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, meaning second shots won't be necessary.
Hopefully, we'll have a part of the population that'll just be one and done, and we can get more people in hopefully as quickly as possible.
Being around the general public for this long and not having direct access to that, it's a sigh of relief, honestly, for us to be able to get in there.
Also now eligible for shots, Coloradans 50 and older, public transportation employees, higher ed instructors, faith leaders, direct care providers, journalists, and people with certain health conditions. And he doesn't seem mind sharing it, so we'll share it. Mayor Hancock is over the age of 50 and therefore meets the qualifications to receive the vaccine, and he received his shot this morning.
We know that people are still challenged to get in line and to get their vaccine, even with their own groups. It's one reason why I didn't jump the group and I waited until my group came out. But, we're also optimistic because more vaccine is coming.
The mayor says he got the shot to show people it is safe. He was also able to secure a vaccine within hours of appointments going online, something a lot of folks are still struggling to accomplish. Now, if you were part of the group that became eligible today, we encourage you to cast a wide net, be as patient as anyone can be under the circumstances, And if you've been trying for some time, we advise you to visit thedenverchannel.com and look through the resources we have gathered.
The CDC says children are fined 3 feet apart rather than the previously recommended 6. The agency is basing this guidance on studies that show that there's little difference in infection rates between kids who keep one distance versus the other. The CDC advises teachers to continue to limit their time together and says masks are still a must for everyone. Well, enjoy this excellent weather while you can, because more snow is on the way. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson has details of this storm. Mike?
Okay, let's focus on the positive first. We had a nice day today with high temperatures reaching the 60s in many locations across Colorado. Out at DIA, it was only 48, but downtown we hit about 63 degrees. And right now, 46 at the airport. We're still holding right now at 61 degrees downtown. Here are the headlines. Another nice day tomorrow. Mountain snow tomorrow night. We get rain and snow Sunday and more snow coming up next week. Skies are mainly clear across Colorado now, but there's another front coming our way. It will not be as strong as the one that we had last weekend, but it will bring us colder weather and it will bring us some snow. Details on when and how much coming up.
An Elbert County deputy shot a man during a chase on Thursday. The sheriff's office did not say if that man had a gun. We are told that he is currently recovering from surgery.
Jonathan Nuno Mijangos has been charged in the murder of his wife, Jasmine Cigarroa. Cigarroa was reported missing March 10th. Her body found in a field in Adams County just 2 days later. Investigators have not said how she was killed. Jasmine Cigarroa was 24 years old.
Coloradans routinely reject raising taxes to pay for transportation projects.
But lawmakers haven't given up on making improvements. What they have done is change their methods. Denver7's Megan Lopez explains.
The motion for reconsideration is passed.
Normally, when Colorado lawmakers want to increase costs on something, they have to go to the voters to ask permission. That's thanks to the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, or TABOR, which passed in 1992. 1 year before, in 1991, was the last time voters approved an increase to the gas tax.
It's just not keeping up. And every year we don't do something, it's going to get worse.
So Democratic lawmakers have proposed a new transportation bill to raise fees. And it's all about the wording, because a fee, while similar, is different than a tax.
This is a creative approach that is not a tax increase, and so we don't have to go to voters.
Here's what it would mean for drivers. A new 2-cent per gallon fee for cars that would increase every 2 years until 2029. For diesel trucks, a 6-cent fee that would go up over time. Got a little tipsy and need a ride home? Car share rides like Uber and Lyft would see a 30-cent fee increase. And how about those Amazon packages or food delivery that you've gotten used to? A 25-cent fee would be tacked onto those. Electric cars and hybrids would also be asked to pay more.
What we're looking at now is on average about $28 per consumer.
This is a sustainable solution that's going to raise $4 billion in the next 11-year horizon. That is going to make sure we're reducing congestion, getting people out of traffic.
While some Republicans are on board with the idea, Colorado's House and Senate minority leadership are not.
I think that Colorado families are being nickel and dime to death.
Representative Hugh McKean says this fee is just a way to work around the voters.
What I keep saying is that if we play tricksy with the voters and we say, hey, we're going to impose a fee because we couldn't get you to increase a tax, then I think that we really run the risk of violating the trust of the voters of Colorado.
Meanwhile, Americans for Prosperity argues voters just decided in November they want more of a say over these fees with Proposition 117. And with this bill,
You can call it whatever you want, but at the end of the day, they know that they're funding it, and to them, it's a tax.
CDOT hasn't taken a stance on the bill, but Governor Polis is supporting it. The bottom line is if it passes, you will be paying more at the pump. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
It took some doing, but a bill establishing media literacy as part of school curriculum advanced in the House today. Now, skeptics include Representative Ron Hanks, who was in Washington for January 6th and has claimed the election was stolen.
The electronic age has the ability to be amended as quick as a guy can get on the website and start typing in a change to the data. I've seen that before on Wikipedia. And I found that a little troubling to have a, what you thought was, and then you have to take a snapshot of it in a hard copy, and now you're comparing two sources from the same source, Wikipedia from yesterday and Wikipedia from today.
Now, it probably goes without saying, but treating Wikipedia as gospel is ill-advised and the kind of thing that would be included in a lesson on media literacy. Today's vote was a second reading, and it needs one more yes vote in the House before moving on to the Senate.
Listen, if you all support that fence around the state capitol, you need to speak up because we're hearing a lot of opposition to it. Since going 360 yesterday, we have heard from people who say law enforcement should have been proactive, more proactive anyway, and that a fence is weak protection. The outlier was one person who said a fence is ridiculous, but possibly necessary. All right, while we take a short break, we hope you will consider donating to our Feed Colorado campaign.
We have a link to give on the denverchannel.com. Just $10 provides 3 square meals for a family of 3 here in Colorado. You can also drop off non-perishable foods at ARC thrift stores and Be OK financial locations.
'60s and even '70s in Colorado tomorrow, but there's snow in the extended forecast.
Also coming up, we find the collective soul of a community.
Our vision of making sure that the culture of the neighborhood stays intact.
And Broncos insider Troy Rink talks free agency.
A little taste of spring, but then it's back to snow. We'll have road conditions for your morning commute.
Plus, mental health apps on your phone. We're taking a look at how you may be risking your private information.
There are some details that might end up being used for targeted ads.
Monday morning, watch Denver 7.